everyone, and welcome to the special coaching training webinar that we're doing tonight, which is specifically going to be on Google Maps and the new Google Home Services ads. It's something that some people are up in arms a little bit about, especially the home service ads, but we're going to talk about that and show you quite a bit about that in just a few minutes, and a little bit about how to deal with that and whether or not you should even be concerned. So don't worry, we're going to go over that. I also want to be able to answer some of your questions. I don't want to make this webinar too long. We're definitely going to be done within an hour. I want to really even keep it to 45 minutes, but I do want to be able to answer your questions. So just from the very beginning, letting you know that if you do have a question, it's going to be best to go ahead and ask that early. And as soon as you get the question in your mind, put it into the GoToWebinar chat area so that you'll make sure that your question is going to be answered, because we have a lot of questions at the very end. I may not be able to get to all of them with all of the people that are on the webinar. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and first I'm going to get right into showing you some of the stuff that's going on. Again, if you want to ask a question, you can ask it at any time. You won't interrupt me. I will sometimes see the question as soon as you ask it, though. Realize that sometimes I may not see it for quite a bit longer. As we've talked about, Google is doing some big changes. But you know what? I've really been intently studying internet marketing for almost 10 years. Well, actually, what year is this? Over 10 years, and heavily probably for a good 10 years. And Google is always changing. And yeah, over 10 for sure. I'm getting up there in age, I guess, huh, Dusty? So Google is always changing. That's the thing that we have to sort of embrace and realize what's going on. And so we need to figure out what these changes are, and we need to figure out how to adapt to these changes. Sometimes it can be frustrating. Believe me, I'll be the first one to admit and even tell you that it can be really frustrating. Now, what you have to do is figure out what these changes are, roll with them, sometimes figure out to participate in them or not. And I know for a lot of us, as a cleaning company, we like to use Google. Some of us rely on Google too much, but realize that no rankings stay consistent. Over the 10 years plus that I've intently studied this and looked at rankings, I have never seen, and maybe if somebody's heard of one, let me know, but it may be none that I've noticed, any cleaning website that's consistently ranked number one or even number two. Okay, you guys don't see my screen. So can everybody see my screen now? Where it says no ranking. There we go. Thank you, Kathy, for stepping up and actually saying that. Everybody heard me, but they because that's why I always ask, can you see my screen too? So perfect. Thank you for that, Kathy, for sure. So no rankings stay consistent. There's no website that I know of, cleaning website or really even out of the cleaning industry too, very few that stay ranking number one, number two long term over the course of even really more than a few years, quite honestly, and none that I've known of that have ranked for 10. There's some that I know of that have ranked in the top 10 for that long, but never number one or number two, and very few even that have remained in the top 10. So rankings switch around and rankings change, and Google kind of even wants it that way a little bit. Why? Because then you'll spend money on Google AdWords and you'll spend money on some of the other stuff. This is what Google used to look like back in, I think this was a screen capture that I took from 2013, right? What you had up here was the Google AdWords ads. Now, it's kind of similar to how it is now, but we also used to have, remember, the ads on the right side. Well, they changed that, right? And now there's actually ads underneath as well. Back then, that wasn't there. But then they used to put some of the Google organic rankings right underneath the ads, and then they started having some of the Maps listings. And people freaked out when they took, because at first they had 10 in the Maps listings, and they cut down to, I can't even remember, 4 or 5 or something like that. And now they've cut down to 3, and now they're doing some other weird stuff with that, with the home services ads, potentially, that we're going to be talking about in just a few minutes. And this is similar to what Google looks like now, where up top you've got Google AdWords ads, and the bottom you've got the Maps ranking, right? Now, this is the new home services ads that potentially they're going to be switching to. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a minute. Now, the thing is Google going to stay doing home services ads, and is this going to be the new thing come all around? I don't know, but it's a good idea for you to be in tune with what this is and be in tune with what this may or may not do. The thing is, cleaning companies are now officially on this list. So what's going to happen is searches potentially. Again, this is what we're thinking is going to happen. Google never comes out and rarely comes out when they're testing something and tells everybody what they're going to do. They just kind of throw it in everybody's lap. So the search for carpet cleaning Atlanta, instead of the ads being up here for Google AdWords and the maps for free being underneath here, you're going to be looking at something like this. Now, here's the thing. I've done searches, and it's particularly companies right now in California. That's where they like to roll out a lot of their stuff. So I've done some searches for carpet cleaning, maid service, pressure washing, and the two types of cleaning. Cleaning companies are now on this, okay? Maid services are on this. And I know some of you people that are on the webinar here tonight, you have maid services either with a carpet cleaning company and or just a maid service, right? So you definitely need to be paying attention to this because they're already rolling this out for maid services. Guess what? If you own a carpet cleaning company, that's not a very far cry from a maid service. It's, I think, just a matter of time before that actually comes into being for carpet cleaning, because even really when you look at the search stats, carpet cleaning is a higher search for term. So I think they're testing this out with lower level services and not searched for as much services before they roll it out for all the other ones. But this is what's going on, is you've got the listing where these are actually paid listings, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how that works in just a little bit, but that's really kind of what they're probably going to. They're definitely testing it, and they're testing it in a big way, so it's something to take note of. Now, and with that, there's also a brand new Google Maps update that just happened that's called the Possum update. And this just happened, I can't remember for sure, but recently, within the last, I think, few weeks, right? So the Possum update basically is the reason why maybe some of your rankings, has anybody's rankings just totally dropped in Google Maps and just like fallen off the face of the earth? Anybody here on the webinar? Has anybody's rankings done a lot better over the last few weeks? And all of a sudden now you're on Google Maps, whereas you weren't as of a few weeks ago, right? Some of you are saying, Mike's saying yes, Matt's saying yes. So the thing is, here's what's really some of the factors that are going on with this new Possum update. It's a lot more to do with proximity and your city limits and your location. Of course, that's the way it's always been. But here's the thing. Used to, if you were downtown or somewhere in the city limits, you were a lot more likely to rank, right? Well, now it has to do more with if you're in the 32514 zip code and somebody searches for you for a carpet cleaning company, you're more likely to show up for that city search. So it's more like you're more likely to show up for the people in that specific area. So these are very important things to take note of and realize what's going on with this stuff. Maybe your shop isn't in an area that you're wanting to service that much. Well, this is an issue. This is something that you need to adjust your business accordingly. But for some of you, this is actually turning into a good thing because you weren't showing up, whereas now you are. As well, it's just changing things up a little bit. And what I've noticed too is sometimes the rankings for on a day-by-day basis, they're actually changing who's actually showing up in the maps. Now, this might be because they're adjusting the algorithm and things are going to be changing, and we don't exactly know yet. But we do know that there are factors of whether you're in the city limits or not, and you're a lot more likely to show up, not just by the city, but by the zip code, right? Especially. So that's a very important thing to take note of, and even to think, too, which listing are you going to use, or if you're about to move your shop somewhere, which address do you want to claim and really use? It's something to take note of. Now, the other thing too, and the disclaimer with that is we don't know how long Google's really going to use that as part of their algorithm. We just know that that's what they're doing right now. So here are some of the things too that are really the mainstay, and some of this stuff is the stuff that I've just talked about for years, and some of it's just true natured stuff that you need to make sure that you're doing and staying just fresh with the things that are going on in your actual map area. Now, the thing too that's more important is this stuff needs to be even tighter because only 3 people show up, right? And that's kind of been the thing for about a year now, but it's more important that you really pay attention to this type of stuff. So, of course, like we've talked about quite a bit, your name, address, and phone number are very important to make sure that they stay accurate. So, in other words, don't use a fake phone number, use a real phone number, use a real address, but 2, making sure that they're accurate as far as what your real address is, and make sure that they're consistent. And I mean, by accuracy and consistency, I mean as much as if your address is 11 Main Street, you spell out street. You don't just put street, and then you spell out street in all of your profiles, right? So how it actually shows up on your business license, how it actually shows up on Google, on your Google local profile. Make sure that's in all of your other directories as it is there. So if you're using street spelled out street, you need to make sure all of your directories and everything that you have on your business license everywhere else is spelled out street and not just with ST. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be spelled street. I'm just saying if that's the way it was originally on your business license, or the biggest things are probably your business license, your Google listing, and even your like Better Business Bureau listing. Make sure that whatever listing you've got there, those are the ones that you use in all of your other directories, and make sure that it's all consistent. And even too, as far as your company name, I mean, so many times I've looked at some of this stuff for some of you guys, and on Google, your name would be Premium Carpet Care LLC, but then on some of your other directories, it's just Premium Carpet Care. You can't do that. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be all exactly the same as far as the name of the company, your address, and your phone number to a T. It's got to be exactly the same all the way across the board. So just keep that in mind. So, for instance, I've talked for a client that we have, I talked with him, and he had a 800 number that was forwarded to his main line. Well, one of his directories actually had the 800 number instead of his local phone number. And on Google, his local phone number is there. So that's an inconsistent problem. So that's something that needs to be fixed, right? The same name, same address, same exact phone number to a T everywhere that you go. So make sure that you're completely filling out your information in Google Local in that area. Make sure that you do put in your service and city and state in the title of your Google Local listing. Make sure that you do add photos, videos if you have videos, but add photos, pop those in there, and don't over optimize. This is kind of the stuff that we've talked about quite a bit before, but don't throw too many keywords in there. Don't over spam all of your keyword information. You want to put in the right amount of keywords. In other words, just put it in once and put it in as such that you would normally be talking to a client. You're not going to talk to the client and go, hey, we do carpet cleaning in Atlanta. How do you like that? Because we're the best carpet cleaners in Atlanta. And you keep saying that over and over again. That's a little ridiculous, right? Yeah, and like, exactly. Photos are super important. Because it actually, in real photos, not just clip art photos, but photos that you actually took with your smartphone, that's of your real shop or of your real truck. If you don't have a shop location, that's fine too, but of your real truck, of your real employees, real. That's really what people are looking for. Real stuff. Before and after pictures, exactly. So this is the kind of stuff we're talking about inside of, in fact, this is where you want to go. Most of you guys know where this is, but google.com/business. Now, here's the other thing too. Like I've always talked about, check this often, right? I don't know how many times that we've, gone and looked for clients and even sometimes our own listing, and we go and say, well, geez, the stuff isn't right anymore. It all of a sudden changed. And Google sometimes will morph and think that there's something else that should be added to your profile, or that your phone number is different because of some other directory that they saw or whatever. So you need to be constantly checking up on your directory. So go to google.com/business, or you can just go to Google and Google My Business will be fine too, but that'll take you to this link in general. And then you're going to be able to log into your Google profile, the same thing that you have for Google AdWords or whatever you use for Gmail. If you don't have one, you can set up a new one. But you need to make sure that your profile is claimed. That's kind of the old, common thing. But if you haven't claimed it yet, you need to go search for your company name on Google, find it, and then claim it is the best way to do it. But then if you've already claimed it, you need to check on it or make changes and adjust some things. Just click on Google My Business or Google that, or go to that link that I just showed you right here, google.com/business. You'll get to this, and you're going to get in and you're going to look at your profile. You're going to want to check things out. And like I've talked about with like my address, 1116 East Olive Road, we're going to make sure that in all of our profiles that East is spelled out. It's not just E. We're going to make sure that road's spelled out, not just RD, right? And that should be consistent all the way across the board. You also want to make sure that your delivery areas your cities are all by hand put in there individually. I don't like to just use the blanket because there's an option too to say service all the areas from 10 miles around or 20 miles around. It's better for you to put in all the individual cities. Okay, if you deliver goods and service, which I think any cleaning company does, when you deliver stuff to their service, their location, which means you're going out and delivering cleaning at their location, you definitely want to be clicking yes right here. Okay, and checking that all of this stuff is correct. Then you're also, here's another big thing, if you serve customers at your business address. Now, if you operate out of your home, you're not going to want to click this. Okay, if you do serve customers by dropping off rugs or they come by your shop for anything, go ahead and click this, then your address will be shown. And make sure that you're honest about this, right? Because if you're not, and in fact, and I'm not even sure how much they're really doing this, but used to, if you had this clicked and you operated out of your home, you may not rank just because of that, because they know that you don't serve customers at your address out of your home, or at least you shouldn't be, or at least it's not a common thing, right? So make sure that you, if you do operate out of your home, I probably wouldn't click this. But if you do have an actual location somewhere, go ahead and click that, and make sure that you let Google know that sometimes customers come to your home or to your office. So you're going to want to check over all of this other information, make sure the hours are put in. Go ahead and put all that stuff in. Put in a description. And like I mentioned, when you put in some of the description, put in what you actually do for put in a couple of the cities that you actually do when you put that part in. Make sure, obviously, your website's very accurate, your phone number's accurate. Don't use an 800 number. Use an actual local number. So some of the other things that we've got here is, and this is, true too, even more so, reviews are super, super important. So that's what we just talked about, is some of the foundation of what you need to have in here. Reviews are super important. Now we talked, I was actually going to get a picture of it, but we've got a little card that we've been giving out for members, and it basically has an address on it. And we've been using it in my own cleaning company too, where if you Google, in fact, if you want to, go ahead and Google premiumcarpetcarereviews.com. I'm not asking you to give me a review, but you'll see an example of what that is. When you Google that, you're going to go to one of our special pages on our website. We're testing out a couple of different ways to use that right now. What's neat about this is it's a forwarded domain. It's a domain name that we use, and we can forward it to wherever we want to forward it to. So right now we've got it forwarded to our webpage, where people are having the option to go to Google or Facebook or both, even if they were really thrilled with us, and like somebody that did today, and they actually give us a review just that way. So do that, and then now you're giving people an option to be able to also complain a little bit if they want to, because on that same page we're saying, hey, if you weren't happy, call us, we want to make it right. But as well, we're able to just give them one address that they can go to be able to give them access to go to different places to give us a review. So reviews are super important. If you have no reviews, or if you have few reviews, and by few, it really is contingent on how many competitors' reviews that you have, right? It's the domain name, again, to check that out, is premiumcarpetcarereviews.com. And it's a little business card that we've got, and it basically says, how is your cleaning? And it's really professional looking, really nice. We give it to everybody after we do a cleaning at their home, or after we do a rug cleaning for them. How is your cleaning? Please give us a review. And the other side says, please give us a review at premiumcarpetcarereviews.com. We'd like to know how we did. Just something that's very, very professional. Premiumcarpetcarereviews.com. And reviews alone, if it's not, the drawback is probably some of this other stuff has to be somewhat in place too, but the reviews are one of the big factors in ranking. So make sure that you're getting reviews, and they don't even have to necessarily be good reviews, but obviously good reviews are better. And yeah, send them the email too. Absolutely. And mention even on Facebook, or anytime you talk to somebody, you want to make sure that they've got that email or that link to be able to go and give you reviews. Because when you have those reviews from local people, Google's going to take note of that and go, wow, this is really a real local company. See, what they're worried about is, for years, carpet cleaners, maid services, probably lawyers, and everybody was spamming Google and going in and simply creating all this worthless stuff. Exactly. And they would basically be simply, spamming and creating their own company name and creating their own little profiles all over the place, and Google didn't know if they were real or not. So Google realizes that the most valuable companies are the companies that get actual real reviews from local companies. So, like Jeffrey's mentioning, hey, I've only have 26 reviews, but I am number 1 on the 3-pack. Right, exactly. And sometimes, in Utah County, and sometimes it doesn't even take that many, depending on the area that you're in, right? And how many reviews that your competitor has. So, but getting reviews is going to be a big part of this. So work all that you can to get those reviews. And 2, we've used a system from David Hebert where we've actually had where the link went to a special page where they leave a review. If it's a bad review, it goes back to us so that we can fix the problem. And if it's a good review, it lets them go to our Facebook page or our Google page. And that way we get reviews, they just kind of auto get forwarded there. But if it's a bad review, we get a chance to fix it before it actually goes to the actual Google, which can be really, really bad and unfixable in a lot of situations. Yeah, that's exactly. Like Dusty's saying, the best reviews aren't always the 5-star reviews. Exactly. And and then Jeffrey's saying he has 300 pictures. Exactly. The more pictures you have, name those pictures and put information about what the picture is about, share them. Exactly. And then you're going to be able to get quite a bit of exposure and validity in the fact that, especially if they're unique pictures. Again, I can't stress enough, no clip art, right? Real pictures that you took. I'm trying to read all these comments coming in. Everybody's asking questions and adding stuff. So let me see here. Right. And when you have reviews that aren't always 5 stars, when you have even 3 and 4 stars, it makes you seem more real. Because if you were looking and all of them are 5-star reviews, you're going to be looking at that going, oh my gosh, these have got to be fake. They've all got to be made up, right? So think about that. So, all right. So make sure that you're obviously your Google local page, your Google My Business page has your website with your address. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Make sure that your website has your address and phone number on it. Sometimes I a lot of times don't see this, but your website should have your address and phone number on it. And I get this all the time. Well, I operate out of my home. Well, guess what? Your clients can find your house. If you own a business, they can find your house and find where you live. It's not going to be that hard. Your business address is out there somewhere. You might as well have it on your website because that can be the thing that helps you rank in the Google Maps area as well. So make sure your address and your phone number exactly as it is in the Google Maps, Google My Business, make sure that it's on your website as well. Also, even doing some organic. Now, what we are finding lately with the maps, it's not as much tied into the Google organic search, which is like the actual Google search. But still, you want to make sure that all of that stuff is set correctly with your title tag being where it needs to be, with the headlines having some of the keywords, not spammy, but naturally talked about in the headlines. You want to make sure that you've even got some long tail keywords. What are some long tail keywords? Instead of just saying carpet cleaning Pensacola, you might want to say pet stain removal in Pensacola. Instead of just saying rug cleaning, you might want to say Oriental area rug cleaning or Persian area rug cleaning. In other words, smaller longer keywords that are added to and even more refined than just regular rug cleaning. Instead of just tile cleaning, ceramic tile cleaning, porcelain tile cleaning. Everybody following me on that? So let's see here. Trying to follow along with some of the comments here. Yeah, and you do want to definitely explain, even in your Google Maps area, if you can put a picture in of your guarantee, that's a good idea. Of like basically explaining your guarantee. That's and I've never even done that, but that's a really good idea to do. Yeah, and always make sure that your pictures are tagged because Google can't read them. You do have to have a description on the picture. You're not throwing me off, Dusty. It's just what about multiple Google Maps listings? That is a can of worms that if you want to open that can, you have to tread really, really lightly, because in a sense, what you need to do is give the complete image and even proof to Google that you have a separate company, that you're a franchise. So that really needs to be the main thing in mind when you do that. It needs to totally be a separate phone number, really should be a separate website, should be a separate address. It has to be a separate address, has to be a separate area of town, a separate everything, separate pictures, maybe the same logo, but maybe, you might even want to go so far as getting a separate business license for that other. I've had some clients do that with success, actually. So in a sense, they're setting up a pseudo company for that particular city. So do that as much as possible for that to work. Keep in mind, if you do it wrong and you don't do it very thoroughly, you could lose your first Google listing. So instead of getting 2, you might end up with 0. So think of it along the lines of it's a separate business, a completely separate business, a franchise, but it all has to be completely separate for it to really work well. So just make sure that you do that with dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. Exactly. Right. And you can also go to your Google business page and share all of your business photos. You can share them on Google Plus. You can share them on Facebook, and that does tend to correlate. Yeah, that's a good tip and something that I didn't really mention, because Google notices that if you go and put all of these pictures on your Google Maps page, right, and then you share that same picture on Facebook, you share that same picture on Google Plus, especially, you're really showing Google that that's your picture, right, and it makes for validity. All of this really is just putting all of it out in the open, putting it all out, and really doing something with it. Don't just have a Google page, but have a Google page and do what would a business person really want to do ultimately? Well, put a lot of pictures up there, put a lot of videos up there. And what would they do too? Well, share those same things on their Facebook page, share those same things on their Google page, right? Even on Twitter, all around. Exactly. So Nate's asking, how important is a business license being the same? I've seen it done without having a separate business license, but I would recommend, because Google's getting more strict on that, I would recommend really getting a separate business license. And ideally, right? And same thing with the separate address. And Nate's just saying he realized that it's at my home address. Exactly. So you need to make sure where all of that stuff is and realize where that's at. If you have a separate office, you obviously don't want to be using your home address. But maybe you do. It depends on which side of town that you're in. Right, exactly. And YouTube and Google Plus are very connected to Google My Business. Exactly. So you want to share those in between there. So let's talk a little bit more about, we've talked about long tail keywords. We've talked about making sure all of that's in the title tag. That's, making sure all of that foundation is down and making sure that you've got reviews. So one of the biggest things, again, right now that Google's looking at are reviews, and really even your proximity to that area. Some of the other things too are, especially with Google or Facebook even with Google Plus. Sometimes when you take the picture at that location, you're sensed for where your IP address is. Right? And so Google knows where that's at, so that's more validity. So take pictures at the address that you're using when you're using pictures. That's a big thing. Anything that you can to prove that you're really from that spot. And I know some of you actually use your business addresses that's a warehouse that you're not at all that much, it's maybe not the best place to take pictures, but even then, take pictures at that spot. That's going to be, of your equipment, of your van in front of your, and with you in front of it, whatever you want to do. But Google can sense that IP address, and they know where you're at when you're taking those pictures, and that leads to some credibility and some validity. Same thing with YouTube videos. Absolutely. They know where if you actually uploaded it in that spot, do that. Now, I don't know if Facebook, if that's as important, but I know with Google, that would be quite a bit more important because they're the ones that can actually see what your IP address is. And Jeffrey's mentioned on each picture, you can map each picture where you did the job. Exactly. So map where you did the job on that picture. And if you can go, especially if it's a job in that area that you're trying to rank for, and you can take a picture of the client's house if they give you permission, or if you're taking a picture of your van even in their driveway, maybe, and it's your it's your van, you could take that, do that, and then upload it there while you're there. This kind of stuff can help you as well. So absolutely, some good tips. Yeah, and Google can see where you're working because of Google Maps, actually at the job. So especially now, if you're servicing a home not in the spot that you're trying to rank for, that don't do it as much there, although you can, but really try to do it in the areas that you actually have a physical address in, that you're actually ranking for that particular city. Exactly. Good. So creating citations and directories, we've talked about this before. Make sure that and it's basically anything that's got your company name, address, and phone number on. Yahoo, Yelp, of course, the common directories, but also, too, think out of the box a little bit with other things, like even a Craigslist listing, right? Sometimes Craigslist is just good for a citation. If you go in and you put your address in there with your phone number, and it's for that particular city that you're wanting to rank for. But also, too, local citations, because think about it. If you're a legitimate, good, reputable local company, you're also going to have your company name and your address and phone number listed on news websites, right? Maybe your local newspaper, or maybe a local home service type of directory, or a local just other business directory, Chamber of Commerce, that type of thing, Better Business Bureau. And even if you're not a member of the Better Business Bureau, you can still have a listing there with the Better Business Bureau. Make sure that that's correct. Make sure that that's got all your information. But just even Google, your city name, Atlanta, if you're in Atlanta directories. And then you'll see a bunch of directories. Just go in and try to fill out profiles on those directories. You want to show up on a lot of those directories. That helps quite a bit. Do citations work as much, by the way, as they used to? Probably not, because sometimes you used to be able to get ranking just off of a bunch of citations. They're still helpful, by the way, and definitely I'm not dismissing them and saying don't do them, but they're maybe not quite as important as they used to be, but they're still pretty important. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure too that if you have duplicate listings that are incorrect, and one of them was maybe one that you tried to make up, or maybe you didn't even make it up. Sometimes these directories show up that you didn't even make up. Make sure you remove them. Don't just let them sit in your Google Maps area, but actually remove them. Go ahead and try to edit the thing, or even delete it out of your account. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. If nothing else fails and you can't do it that way quickly, call Google. Now, the thing is, sometimes it's not just a call to Google. Sometimes when you're dealing with Google, it's 20 calls to Google, but you got to do it. It's something that's got to happen. So call them at this number, and this is the same number that's in the Google AdWords area. But sometimes if you really need to, just do a very small Google AdWords campaign. Spend $10 and then turn around, and now you have permission to call Google. Now you call Google, and then you can talk to somebody that way, and they'll connect you with somebody at the Google Maps area. But call them, hound them. Unfortunately, in business, what some of this is about, if you guys have been in business for a while, is sometimes people don't always do all the stuff that they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. So you have to hound them. You have to, and sometimes that's what you have an office assistant for. But, sometimes you got to do it. If you're not the office assistant, you have to be the one actually calling Google every couple of days to get through and make sure what you need to do. And just let them know that listing's wrong. This is my correct listing. That's my bad listing. Take it down. What do I need to do and just keep asking them, what do I need to do to verify that with you? I mean, that's the true thing. What do I need to do to verify that with you? So keep asking them that, but make sure that that's taken care of. So what other questions, before we talk a little bit about the home service ads, what other questions do we have about Google Maps and about how that's working? Remember, right now, again, one of the biggest factors are reviews. So make sure that you're really getting reviews, and make sure you've got the citations for sure, and also make sure that you're going in and checking your citations and the accuracy and making sure that everything's correct in your Google profile. So do we have any other questions, comments on that? Never heard of that one. Jeffrey's mentioning tag your business Google Plus name on each business picture on your business Google Plus page. These are the pictures on Maps. Okay, well, that's pretty neat. So, yeah, and that makes sense, too. You can tag your business Google Plus name that you actually have on Google Plus on each picture on your Google Plus page And also use the same pictures on maps. So yeah, definitely use them and intertwine them. The same ones that you've got, and that makes perfect sense. But actually tag your name in all of your pictures. Maybe I wouldn't just tag your name though, and that's all. I would probably tag your name with something else. Like if it was a picture of tile cleaning, tag your, say, tile cleaning by, Premium Carpet Care. If it's a picture of rug cleaning, area rug cleaning by Premium Carpet Care, that type of thing. Exactly. So let's see. If you guys do have any other questions, definitely roll those in here. Right. Mark's asking, how do you tag the picture? That's going to be in Google Plus. Just basically, right underneath, there's a description that you can put in of the picture, or just even in the text. You can tag it by just putting in the text what it is when you post the picture. Exactly. Just as long as the words are there about the key words of what that is. And again, not to put it too like it's just spam, like over mention it, but it would make sense that if you posted a picture of you tile cleaning, to say, this is a tile cleaning job by Premium Carpet Care. So it's a good idea, too, to put your company name in most, if not maybe even all of them. But especially the ones that you're also going to use in your Google Maps page. Exactly. Good. So let's talk about the home services ads. Like we mentioned, this is actually out right now for Maid Services, and Maid Services San Francisco. And I think, I didn't check in San Diego, but in some of the other cities, I've seen some of them for commercial cleaning as well. So if you just type commercial cleaning San Francisco, you're going to also see the same thing. And again, carpet cleaning and pressure washing, and we're not a very far cry from those. So what's going on is they're showing up like this, like the Google AdWords ads, and also like the Maps area. And there's a thing where you click request quote. Now the thing is, there's no more, when they're doing this, there's no more Google Maps. That's gone, right? Now, in some fashion, we might be going, well, geez, John, why did we spend all this time just talking about Google Maps? Well, we don't know if Google's really going to roll this out everywhere. I think they're probably going to do a hybrid of this with Google Maps, but I don't know. They're not going to tell us because they're still probably testing it, and they're still really figuring out how profitable this is going to be. And two, AdWords isn't here. If they eliminate AdWords, oh my gosh, it's like a whole different scenario, right? and geez. So Nate's got a good question, and it is, can you explain the difference between Google Local, Google Plus, and Google Maps? Google Local is basically Google Maps, right? So they used to call it Google Maps, now they call it Google Local. Some people still call it Google Maps. I sometimes still call it Google Maps. I think even, I'm not sure if Google actually calls it Google Maps anymore, but it's the map area of Google, right? Google Local is more the thing where, now they've even changed it even more to complicate. I mean, that's the thing. Google's done this, and it's nuts. Now it's not really even called Google Local by Google anymore. It's called Google My Business, right? Okay, so now everybody's really confused. Google Local, Google Maps, Google My Business, all the same thing, essentially, right? It's the map, right, that is questionably on the chopping block. My gut feeling, though, is it's not going to completely be chopped out, but you don't know. You don't know what they're going to do. So, and then what is Google Plus? Google Plus is like a Facebook for Google. And so go to like plus.google.com. Definitely fill out a profile there. You can get a profile for your company that I highly recommend that you do as well. I mean, like even just like we talked about, you want to put those same pictures that you've got in your Google Local, your Google Maps profile. You want to put those same pictures in your Google Plus profile. But plus.google.com, sign into your Google account if you have one, create one if you don't. But if you already have a Google account, make sure that you're ideally using the same one that you've already used for Google AdWords, or to even get into your Google Maps listing, right? And if you haven't, you really need to get that and claim that. In fact, I would start there by claiming your Google Maps listing. If you don't have any Google account at all, Google your company name, followed by maybe your city, and then if your company isn't claimed, you'll find your city. You got to first find that listing on your Google Maps listing, and then click claim this business, right? If it's never been submitted before, then I think you'd probably want to Google something like submit my business to Google, or go to that. Go to Google My Business. That'd be the best thing. That link that I gave you before, google.com/business, or just Google My Business. That'd be the best place to start. So I take that back. That's the new, better way to do that. Just go to Google My Business and get started that way. Yeah, exactly. Before and after tile cleaning picture would be awesome. Even before and after rug cleaning, right? Brian's mentioning it seems that my pictures on Google Plus transfer automatically to Google Maps. It seems like some of them do. I don't know that all of them do. But yeah, it seems, especially if you don't have that many of them yet, maybe that, or maybe you never added any to begin with directly to Google Maps, then that could be the case. Right, exactly. So, but make sure those are tagged like we just talked about. Yeah, and then they're doing away with that button call on the maps that they used to have on there, which might mean because they're transitioning to this new thing, right? So now they've got this where now you're clicking request a quote. Now here's what happens. I went through and I got a quote from some maid services in San Francisco. Why not, right? So you're going to click on that, request quote. You're going to go here. You're going to get a list of all these other different companies. So you're going to select a few of the ones that you want to get a quote from, and then you're going to fill out this information, and you're going to put in some information about the job that you want, and then they're going to say your quote is requested, and the house cleaner will get back with you with the contact method you provided. Now, what does this look like? Where have we seen this before? Maybe Home Advisor, maybe, I don't know, fill in the blank. For all those other ridiculous things, I can't even remember what some of them were called. Service Magic, was that what it was called? Yeah. I don't even know if they're around anymore. But here's the thing that you need to realize from the beginning of this, guys. If this comes out at the beginning, I'm surely doing it for my cleaning company, and I highly recommend that you guys do. Why? Because early adopters with all of this stuff have big... they've got a shoulder over the people who are trying to use it later. And I don't know if they're going to do a new different kind of review or do a different kind of a integrity level or how that's even going to work. But when you're one of the first, that's better. And why not get the business in before your competitor is, right? Yeah, why not? But the thing is, the way this type of thing works, and this is what scares me about this, is all that's going on is they can see the company name, which is a little bit neat, and they could even go ahead and call them right then and there from here. Wow, that's a little bit different. I'm not sure if the other ones have done it that way, because usually they don't want to even show the company name and definitely show the company phone number. So here they've got that, but then you fill out your information and then you get a quote from all these companies. Now, if they've never heard of any of those people, they don't know who to call. They're just going to select 4 or 5 or 6 of them or whatever, and then those companies are going to get an email. You'll get an email, and then you'll get a chance to respond. Now, if you're quick, you'll probably get some business. And also, too, if you're quick and even among the cheaper, which I usually don't like that. Whenever I am doing any marketing, I don't like to play along the game of I've got to be one of the cheaper guys out there. If that's a game I got to play, I don't like to play the game. I take my ball and I go home, right? So, but, in that case, unfortunately, this might be, that's what Home Advisor is all about. But the only one benefit that I'm seeing here is the phone numbers are there and the star rating is there. So maybe if your star ratings are higher, and here's how the reviews are really going to play into this, right? Even if you decide to do this. Now keep in mind, you're going to pay per click for this, right? But if you're paying per click and then you've also already got a bunch of good reviews, then here you can actually get a little bit more credibility, and maybe they'll only click you because you're the only guy that's got the tag of Better Business Accredited and you've got 4.8 stars higher than these other people, right? So, or maybe you're one of 2 or 3 of some of the highest reviews. So that's why reviews and some of that other stuff is more important. It's completely possible, too, that if the other stuff that we just talked about, the directories and all of that other stuff is in harmony, then you might also get ranked higher, right? I probably see that. I mean, that's not anything I've read about, but that's what I've seen. That's what my gut feeling is, that Google, that's Google-ish, right? Google does that kind of stuff. So that's why all of the stuff that we just talked about is still important, because you can still probably get ranked higher. You definitely have more reviews and you'll be seen better, right? In that case. So, okay, that's right. Service Magic is now Home Advisor. That's. I thought that they totally disappeared. That's right. I'd forgotten that they switched. But Thumbtack, exactly, is another one. And a lot of people don't like Thumbtack. Exactly. Right. And people, people call us all the time too because of our Google reviews. And but so they're going to fill this stuff out, and they're going to get her quote, and this is the quote that I got. I quickly, within a few minutes, actually 20 minutes or something, I got an email saying, hey, this is about your house cleaning job, this is the estimate, and let us know. Of course, I would have put more information in here that sold me. See what I'm saying? That's what I don't like about some of this stuff, when it's just the only thing that's really involved is price and their Google reviews, right? Other than that, there's not really any other place where you can get a leg up here. I'm not sure that I enjoy that, but I definitely maybe use this opportunity here, if it's even possible, to put in information about, here's the stuff that we do that's different than other cleaning companies, right? Here's either our list of what we do for our cleaning steps, that type of thing, right? So that's sort of the maybe a little bit of the different unique thing that you can do in this. So here's the other thing too that's sort of making me think, who's been doing something like this? This is also something that I've seen online with the Google guarantee. Wow, okay. Well, what's the Google guarantee? Well, this is a Angie's List-ish thing, where we make sure that you're going to be, happy and that type of thing. And I'm not sure, actually Anthony Smith emailed me this. I've got a video too that I want to give you that he just did that explains a little bit more about the Google Maps, and quite a bit more into detail about some of that you guys can watch later on. And then also more about the, Google, the home services ads, that he's done a really nice video on that, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, he's the one that let me know this, because I didn't find this online anywhere. And basically, I don't know, are they going to start trying to do the same thing where they're actually doing a full scale, because Google kind of wants to go up and be the domination of the world, maybe in every business that they can dominate in, right? And they already have, but my gosh, if they're going to do this and do this the way that it's almost looking like they're trying to do this can be huge. This can mean they've really got, their hand in our pockets, right? But again, do you have to participate in it? Not necessarily, but you might want to, right? I don't know, and we're really not going to know until they totally roll it out, until they totally figure out what's going on. So if you're in California, for sure, I'm going to give you a link that I'm going to really recommend that you go to. And I'm also going to give you the link to the video that explains some of this more that Anthony did. But basically, it's you do probably want to go and put in for this if you're in California. And like I mentioned before, maybe you can put in for it even if you're not in California. They may or may not even accept it or do anything with you, but it might be worth doing that. So check that out. So that's, really what I recommend that you do at this point. Understand what this is all about. Again, I'm going to give you another link where you can go check out this other video. On this link, I'm going to give you guys, you'll have the opportunity to ask other questions I think Anthony will get all of these questions, but I'm going to give you the link to this right now. And because he goes into a little bit more detail about the 3-pack and even the home services ads. I'm going to put this into the chat area. All right, everybody should have that. So the other links that I wanted to give you guys here is the link to sign up for Google Home Services ads. You can check that out. So again, the way I always like to approach this kind of thing is, it may be a good thing, it may not. It may be right up your alley, and it may not. I mean, it may not even be something. Google sometimes too has rolled stuff out and then taken it away. But the thing is, they usually haven't done that with stuff in their search engine. Okay? So that's something to take note of. There hasn't been a whole lot of them testing something out in their search engine and it not somehow really impacting and affecting something somewhere down the road. Now, Google Plus, well, there are other weird stuff that they've tried to start social media wise, not so much, but in their search engine, and especially seeing that this is definitely a way where they can make big money. The big thing that I don't know is it going to make up for their revenue for Google AdWords? Because that's a large part of their, they have AdWords and YouTube. And what other revenue stream do they have? For some reason, I think there's a third one, but I can't remember. But it's mostly Google AdWords and YouTube and all the ads from YouTube. So let's see what other questions that we've got here. I know we said we'd take about 45 minutes and it's been a little bit over that. So let's see here. take another question or two. Nate's asking, are there benefits to making lots of reviews on local businesses and becoming a Google guide? I don't know. Has anybody else ever done that? Made a lot of reviews on Google Business and basically you're a local guide? I can't imagine that there would be, but I don't know. So you're sort of like the mayor, of that area, kind of like they have that on, what is that, Merchant Circle. I don't know if there's any benefits to that in Google. I've seen that, but I've not even looked into that a whole lot, and I've not really heard about it. So my thought would probably be no, but I don't know if anybody else has got a thought on that. Let me know. Okay, this will be the last question. Let's see. Yeah, Douglas is asking, do you rank higher on Google with more reviews? Almost all of the time. Well, all else being equal, yeah, you definitely will rank higher. Now, will you totally win? If your other stuff that we talked about is at least somewhat in harmony, then yeah, but definitely you will rank higher than having more reviews than having less reviews. So the answer to that question is yes, you will rank higher by having more reviews. Absolutely. Oh, the addresses keep scrolling up. Well, I don't know. That's strange. It could be something in regionally or any type of reviews help. Good. Well, all right, guys. Just a quick mention. I know the purpose of this webinar was not to. I don't have anything for sale, but I did just want to mention that in the ad club, I do have new fall postcards coming up. For those of you who are already in the ad club or thinking about joining, Thanksgiving as well. We've got a nice little cartoon picture with that we're about to have come out, as well as email newsletters for fall and Thanksgiving, AdWords ads, Facebook ads for Thanksgiving, Facebook posts, that type of thing. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email or give us a call or go to hitmanadvertising.com/coaching and you can get some of that. Jeff is asking, what is the ad club? That is, I've got an advertising coaching club or ad club. It's kind of what I just call it for abbreviation. But basically, we do a few things. One, we do providing of all kinds of ad templates for postcards and EDDM pieces and brochures and email newsletters and all kinds of content like that. Client newsletters as well. We also do training webinars like this. We also do printing and graphic design for the members. The graphic design once per month is free. And then we also do discounted printing because we print for over 100 cleaners all over. So we pass on that bulk discount. We can get you some of the cheapest printing that you can get online. For example, like 1,000 4x6 postcards, we can get you for about $30. Even the little bit larger ones, 8.5 by 5.5, we can get you those for around, don't quote me exactly, but somewhere in the $60-ish range. Brochures, we can get you 1,000 of those for like $100, right around there. Glossy, tri-folded already, full color, nice ones. But we do the graphic design for you and even provide you all the templates. And we do other training on different stuff as well. We're going to be starting an internet marketing particular class. How much to belong to the club? It is $137 per month. Some of our members, here's the link to sign up right here. I can put that into the GoToWebinar chat area. Some of the members actually save that just in their savings cost for printing, because honestly, it's some of the cheapest printing that you can get. And then obviously you don't have to hire a graphic designer. So especially if you have to hire a graphic designer, but even if you don't, you can a lot of the times save that. Even if you did your own graphic, you can save that in printing a lot of the times. But Doug is asking price for SEO. Not really taking on a whole lot of SEO clients right now. It might depend on exactly what you need, but you can shoot me an email or a message on Facebook because it really varies and it kind of depends too on what city that you're in and that type of thing. But let me know what cities and give me your website link. But you can either email me at john@hitmanadvertising.com or message me on Facebook. All right, guys. Well, good. This was fun. I hope everybody got something good out of this, a good take home. I appreciate all of you being on here and answering all of your questions. Big thing is go out and do something with this. You're welcome, Nate. But hopefully you guys took notes. Go out and do something with this, and definitely check out that link that I gave you to the video that Anthony did. We're going to be posting that on the cleaning marketing discussion group as well. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Have a great rest of the night. We'll talk with you later. Bye.